sensitive to him, Jay. I swear to God, it's unbelievable. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Detroit Cast with Mike and Jay. Hello, Biggie. Hello, Jay.
Gentlemen.
I almost texted you guys to be safe out there because I stepped into my backyard and it was like, whoa. Did one of those where I almost wiped out. You would have loved it if I captured that on video because I know how much you enjoy watching people fall.
I would have. I thought there was probably a 50 or 60% chance that you were filming me as I tried to come down your driveway to enter the house. Your driveway is treacherous, dude.
Yeah.
Everything else is fine. It's been rained on. It's mushy. It's slushy. But your driveway, holy shit.
Yeah. I know. My neighbor, I could see him out there. You know, he backs out of his garage to go to work, you know, and then, I mean, he just stood there, finally just gave up. Couldn't go. Couldn't fucking leave.
And so you just, are you sure that's what happened?
He might be out now, but for a while it was just like, yeah, the car's just gonna sit there, I guess.
Did you watch him
anywhere?
As he made, like, did you see him finally just give up and walk out?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Is this Juan? Because Juan's not a quitter.
No, not Juan. Hell no. Something's going on with Juan though. I mean, it's, dude, the leaves, that tree's been down in the yard for a month at least. What the hell's going on over there? I haven't even seen Juan.
Do you need a welfare check, Mike?
Juan.
Maybe, could you imagine calling? Just do a welfare check. He hasn't been in his backyard raking leaves in days, weeks.
They're like, sir, it's snowing. You're like, yeah, I know.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. He should be out there with floodlights on. What's going on? Where's Juan? What's going on with Juan?
Yeah, and of course, the one day I'm walking down your driveway, I have to make like a couple trips because I'm bringing in the Flowbee and all the equipment.
Oh, yeah.
All the required equipment. I've got my shop vac.
Yeah.
And I've got the Flowbee box and all this shit. I'm like, I guarantee these assholes are filming me right now.
Yeah.
So I'm just...
Had I known, I should have, because I knew that driveway was going to be a mess.
Yeah,
I actually almost hit.
Glad you guys are okay.
Hit those rocks.
I
stopped
slid right into him.
Yeah, I kind of did.
Yeah,
almost.
You would have lost that battle. You and your car.
I know.
There you go.
So members, I look forward to a video of E's head being Flowbeed today. We've never used it. We'll see how it goes.
Does it come with different levels so you can take it down a lot or just a little?
Yeah, I plugged her in yesterday to make sure everything was operational because this thing is vintage.
Yeah.
You know, this goes back to '82 or whatever. I've got a friend who, friend of a friend who has one and allowed me to borrow it, but. Boy, is this thing loud, you know, because you've obviously got the shop vac going, so you've got the noise there, and then you've got these blades just
and it's loud.
Didn't show that on the commercial.
No, it looks really peaceful and easy, doesn't it?
Yeah. That'll be fun, dude. Are you gonna do the cutting?
Oh, yeah. I'd love to.
You bounce it, right?
Sure.
Yeah, we'll figure that out as we go. We'll just do one live run, and we'll definitely film it so people can check it out. I swore I wasn't gonna do this, Jay, but yesterday I ended up doing it, and that was watch the other Fire Festival documentary, the one Netflix did. It's great.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Other than the gay aspect of it, there's a gay employee, I guess, who had to suck a guy off.
Oh my God, dude. It is hilarious.
Other than that aspect, and we can talk about that in a second, is there anything that the Hulu one missed? Like that they were off on, didn't include?
They had a lot more coverage of Billy. Like Billy gave that interview in the Hulu one, but there was a shitload more behind the scenes video of Ja Rule and Billy discussing everything, and people in the meetings are interviewed, and it's really cool to see the breakdown of these guys going, dude, we're 5 days out. Like you have to, like I'm telling you right now, we have to write these people and tell them the thing is off, because there will be nothing worse than having people show up here and we're not ready to go, and it becomes a way bigger disaster. I understand this is an embarrassment, but we have to, at this point right now, let people know, don't get on a flight here. We don't have ways to get them here. We don't have ways to get them out of here. There's no food here.
Instead, they tripled down, and their social media was just going, hey, one more day.
And Billy would just he wouldn't stop.
Yeah.
He was just like, he just had the, hey, if you don't like it, you can leave, kind of thing. But I'm looking for solutions. Not, he was a solutions guy.
Those were solutions. If you think, honestly,
it was the only solution.
Yeah, but these guys are just like, we fucking knew. And then they've got video of them in meetings afterwards talking about like, look, this was a black market, was an embarrassment, but we got to circle the wagons, guys. Get back on the horse and put this thing together, and it's kind of like, Woodstock has gone down in history as one of the greatest events ever. And the fact is, Woodstock had miles long of people trying to get in, and the fences tore down, and then hundreds of thousands of people broke in. It was a disaster, and blah, blah, blah. And so They're trying to act like they were Woodstock. Dude, it is so bad. And they got a lot of video too of like kids arriving and showing up and just like, and seeing their reaction. We're like, oh shit. And then they said the thing that did him in. Remember that picture of the kid was like, here's our gourmet meal or whatever, and it's a piece of bread with
cheese
on it. And they said that picture fucking murdered us, man. It was just like that thing went as viral as you can get. But yeah, there's a gay guy in there, and he's like he's talking about how he's been with Billy since the credit card stuff. Okay. So he's known him for Magnesis, exactly, the black card they invented, to be like upscale, whatever, stupid. But he's like, he's always, he's one of those guys that just gets it. They're thinking like, I don't want to miss the boat on the next Steve Jobs, or here's this young brilliant guy, go-getter. He's getting funding. He's an entrepreneur. So they don't really know what's going on with him, but they think.
He shows promise.
Yeah, he shows promise. I'll kill myself if I just walk away, and then he's the next big thing.
That's always so tough, though, because there is really a thin line between the people that become the Steve Jobs and the people that become, you know what I mean, like just kind of fucked up. Because
and that's they usually say, like people were having that internal argument: is he a genius or a fraud?
Yeah,
and it's like, oh, let's hang in, and he's done sort of all right by us. And so, anyways, they need to get water to the island
through customs,
and customs says there's a duty tax that you need to pay. They've got like 10 18 wheelers filled with water, Avion water, I think it was, and customs is like, in order to get this through, you owe us $160,000. And they're like, oh, well, we don't have that. So this gay guy gets a call for Billy McFarland. He's like, I need you to take one for the team. That's what he says. And he's like, okay, Billy, I've been taking one. He's like, I've been taking one for the team like since we started this venture, like constantly saving your ass and keeping it going and keeping the team going. He's like, so what do you need? He's like, there's a customs guy. They won't release our water. I need you to go over there and suck his dick. And he's like,
and that'll forgive 160.
That's what I was gonna say. He's that good of a blowjob giver. Like this guy is so hard up for a blowjob that he's like, you know what? I know we got $160,000 you owe us here, but.
Maybe it was
I got
one of those,
my dick sucked.
I'll look the other way and let it through. We can worry about the payment later. But it's like, did Billy really call this guy? Be like, look, man, I'll have someone come over, suck your dick. And this guy's like, excuse me. He's like, I told you, man, you're gonna have to take one for the team. We need to get this water through customs. I'm gonna need you to go over there and suck his dick.
So did he do it?
And he's like, I went home, I took a shower, rinsed my mouth out with a bunch of mouthwash.
Gotta do that after, not before.
Yeah. I wanted it to have a nice stinging feeling, like a warm stinging feeling. So he's like, and as embarrassed as I am to say this, I was willing to suck this guy's dick. I was on my way to suck his dick. And he just keeps saying, suck his dick. And I'm just like, oh my God, I can't believe.
What?
And he's like, I got in my car and I drove over there. I went to the office with every intention of sucking his dick. And I was like, holy shit, man. And he's like, the guy couldn't have been nicer. Didn't want anything to do with getting his dick sucked. And so he's like, oh, thank God. But I intended to suck his dick that day. And I'm just like, wow.
Did he give any indication then why he thought this was the answer? Or did he just throw it out there as, being an asshole, just kind of saying, hey, dude.
I don't know. They didn't, circle back and get Billy on camera talking about that moment. But it is a startling moment in the fucking documentary. That is for sure.
So what happens? You said he was nice as could be. Did they not?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they released the water. Or maybe I don't remember exactly how that went down. But he said, "Oh, the guy couldn't have been." He's like, I figure I'm going in to meet this monster. He's willing to let me suck his dick for water.
And what's gonna be happening? Like he's gonna be getting the dick sucking as the trucks just go past the gate. Like, yeah, don't worry about this. I'm down.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
dude, I don't know. But he said the guy wasn't interested in that, and he was really nice.
How does he know?
I don't know. Ask him. Fuck. He said he wasn't interested. I don't know. But he's
really astounding.
But he's like, he couldn't have been nicer, and worked with us to try to get this to go through, and blah blah blah. And I'm like, oh my God, I just can't imagine getting a phone call like that. You know what I mean? Jay, I'm gonna need you to take one for the team.
And then going home and going, oh shit, maybe I should. Maybe I should.
Well, I should have said I'm gonna need because you wouldn't, but the end of the show, man, it's done.
You know, there are people who don't want to do other things. You know, if you want ice cream, you don't go to a barbecue shop.
I'm going to need you to dock with a guy.
Docking is the insertion of one man's glands into the foreskin of another.
What is the scenario that this show is going to end tomorrow?
It doesn't matter.
But will be solved by me docking with a dude.
Jay and I have not figured that out yet. However, the only thing that will keep this show going is if you'll dock with another guy for like 5 minutes. Just stare into his eyes. You don't have to say anything. You just need to dock with him.
I like to leave people wanting more.
And the thing is, E, you're circed, right?
Yeah.
So he's going to have to be uncirced and then roll his foreskin over your helmet. You just stand there for 5 minutes. So would you do it, E?
Come
on, man.
No, I would say, I guess here. I'm going to say no.
Nice commitment.
I mean, there better be some real
that guy was
shit
willing
going.
To suck dick, and you won't dock for 5 minutes?
Well, dude, it better not just be it better not just be like the show's going to end tomorrow. It better be like, dude, we got a sponsor on the line. This is going to be $1 million sponsor for the show or some shit.
There you go. There's the scenario. Gabara's doing
to be better trained.
Gabara's gotten a much bigger ad budget next year. He's got $1 million for us, but he needs to dock with you.
Well, at least it's at least he's got that smaller dick. That might make me feel as bad now, right?
Yeah, good point. Speaking of disgusting things, did you see we had an arrest this morning at Hacienda?
Oh yes, I did. They got him.
It was a male nurse over at the Phoenix Police confirmed today that 36-year-old. Oh, Nathan Sutherland.
Sutherland.
Nate. Can you imagine when they're like, next up for DNA swab, is there a Nathan Sutherland? And he's going, oh man, I hope other people fucked her too, because I know I did. This ain't gonna go good. He steps up and it's like, yeah. So now they've charged him with raping that woman.
Pull him up, Jesus. What's his cat look like?
Oh, is that him?
I don't know. I don't know yet. Let me you know what? Let me make sure it's the right thing that's going on. He was a licensed practical nurse and directly responsible for caring for. Why did it take till Tuesday to get his DNA? Wouldn't you go directly to the guy first? It's like, well, we had to go through the line, and we finally got to Nate here.
Probably had to get court orders, right?
Well, they were doing it for other people, but it's like, wouldn't you just start with like, okay, who's got the most access to her?
Yeah.
The one that's directly involved in her day-to-day existence is Nathan Sutherland. Yeah. I would start with him. Let's start with him.
It does look like this is a guy.
Oh boy.
Oh,
Nathan. You know, he's got the lazy eye.
Yeah.
That's an impediment on.
That picture screams, I know there's going to be a lot of people that see this. Yeah, boy, that's made a lot of newspapers. This is gonna. People are gonna see this picture. Oh, Nathan! Imagine him with his scrubs pulled down. Oh, Nathan!
Just going to town on that overgrown bush.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't look like he'd be afraid of an overgrown bush, does he?
No, he doesn't.
I mean,
plow forward.
You had one job, Nathan. One job. Not barely pull out. Pull the fuck out, Nate. That's all you had to do. Jesus, what's the matter with you? So a DNA sample matched with the child, and so that's when he was taken in. He's been charged with 1 count of sexual assault and 1 count of vulnerable adult abuse. From the minute we first became aware of the crime, we have virtually worked nonstop 7 days a week to resolve this case. That's the police chief, Jerry Williams. She said that. According to the victim's family, their daughter's condition includes, so as you know, we knew she was almost drowned,
right?
And that's the brain damage. So I didn't even know we were allowed to say that word anymore. Psychomotor retardation. She does not speak, but has some ability to move her limbs, head and neck. Contrary to what's been reported, she is a person.
Contrary to what's been reported?
Yeah.
What?
Contrary to their lawyer says. Contrary to what's been reported, she is a person. Albeit,
who is reporting that she's not a person?
Come on, man.
I mean, sort of the Detroit cast. I think I did something like that. Was like,
think that's what he's referencing.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe he listens. I don't know. But he says she is a person, albeit with significant intellectual disabilities. She has feelings, likes to be read to, enjoys soft music. So don't bring any Metallica in there. She wants soft music, maybe like Lionel Richie or something.
Hello, is it me you're looking for?
I can see it in your eyes. I can see it in your smile. Are you somewhere feeling lonely? Or is someone loving you?
Maybe Nathan Sutherland.
Don't know how to win your heart. No, I haven't got a clue. But let me start by saying I love you. Yeah, maybe that's her thing.
But if you went in hard with like dancing on the ceiling, I think that's just there's too much pep to it.
Too much.
You know what I mean?
Too much.
Hello, you can get away with. Does he do once, twice, 3 times a lady?
Is it?
I think Line. So. I think
maybe, yeah.
Yeah, I think Line does that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. I mean, you could bing that E.
It is shit.
Hell yeah, yeah. I know my Richie. So she has feelings and enjoys soft music and is capable of responding to people she is familiar with, especially family. The victim and the newborn have been recovering at a hospital. They don't let her nurse, right? Like is breastfeeding off the table?
I don't
in
know.
That situation.
What? Maybe it wouldn't be.
Really? I don't know how that works. If you need to be mobile to
you
generate,
just have to have an udder, I think.
Yeah. I mean, she's probably got heaving bosom right now. Someone's got to drain those bags, if not the kid, right? Because that'll be painful.
It will be. They'll be engorged.
Investigators are working to determine whether other patients at the facility have been abused. Can you imagine?
Oh, Mr. Sutherland.
If that was Nathan's gig, he's just walking around that place just banging, vegetables. Oh, yeah, he's got to feel like a real dick right now.
Jesus, did you want to say something about Twin Peaks?
Oh, yeah, sure, Jay. Why not?
Go ahead.
For every fan's appetite. The perfect sidekick to any meal is a featured rotating tap served at a frosty 29 degrees in a 22-ounce man-sized mug. Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
Oh, thank you. I just sorry, I hope that was apropos for the moment.
Get a little nervous there when Jay put you on the spot.
That's what happened, dude. When people stare at me, I get nervous.
Well, nicely done, E. Welcome back, Twin Peaks. I'm sorry you had to listen to E stumble his way through your read. We'll do better. So I thought I had Nathan Phillips' cell phone. I wanted to call him the Indian.
Mm-hmm.
Are we allowed to call him an Indian? Is it
an
Native
indigenous
American?
person?
Indigenous person.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've heard him described as a Native American elder.
Yeah, I keep seeing that too. Elder. Oh, elder abuse. Elder this, elder that. Yeah.
Well, that's just throwing in fucking as many of those words as you can throw in to make the white, attack on him any worse.
Yeah. Well, we read the other kid, what's his name? Sandman?
Yeah, what's up with that name, by the way? Why not
Sandman?
Why not Sandman?
Sandman?
Is it really Sandman?
It's Sandmann. So he's got an extra N for no good reason out there. He doesn't need it. It's an unnecessary waste of an N. It really is
pronounced Sandman, huh?
I think so. Sandman? I like Sandman. Enter Sandman.
Of course.
I would have that song playing every fucking time I entered anywhere. So anyway, we got to read his note to the public yesterday, right? He had that big lengthy account of his.
And his PR person's note. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and he does have a PR guy.
Of course he does. Now. There's no way in hell he wrote that himself.
Yeah, probably not. But and that's a good move by the family to hire someone like a public PR person to deal with damage control.
Public relations person.
Exactly. Try to spin this back in your favor, and they've done a pretty good job. But Nathan Phillips, the elder Indian Native American indigenous person, is not happy about that letter, and he's taking issue with it. I guess there was a restaurant in Cincinnati, upscale restaurant, that said, "Let's bring the Sandman and the Indian man together."
Why?
And we'll extend an olive branch. They can shake hands, smoke a peace pipe, whatever it is they do.
If I was that kid and the indigenous person wanted to meet, I'd be like, no, fuck off. No.
Yeah. Well, he
was
misrepresented
up for it. What this is all about.
Yeah, he was up for it, and now Nathan Phillips is coming out with his own statement. He's got to rethink things. He's not interested in meeting with the students. Now he was until Sandman dropped his thing out there, and he says he's offering to travel as a delegate representing the international coalition behind the Indigenous Peoples March to the high school for a dialogue about cultural appropriation, racism, and the importance of listening to and respecting diverse cultures. So is he the one that needs to learn the lessons of those things? Because I don't think the Sandman needs to hear that bullshit. Sounds like a fun meeting, too. Race relations in this country and around the world have reached a boiling point. It is sad that on the weekend we celebrate the life and legacy of Martin Luther King, racial hostility occurred on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial where King gave his I Have a Dream speech. Yeah, that's true. It is. From the Black Israelite group, possibly you with your fucking words after, Mr. Phillips. I don't think the Sandman did anything there, but whatever. I have read the statement from Nick Sandman, the student who stared at me for a long time. He did not apologize, and I believe there are intentional falsehoods in his testimony. But I have faith that human beings can use a moment like this to find a way to gain understanding from one another. Phillips has turned down now that the Cincinnati restaurateur who wants them to break bread and make amends. It's not the right time. I might consider it at some point. There'd have to be a certain assurances in place.
Is this guy going to be a thing?
Yeah,
right. That's what he thinks he's a thing now. That's the thing.
God damn it!
He'll run for office. Why not even make a run at an office?
It's also dumb.
So in order to meet with a 16-year-old boy for dinner, there would have to be certain assurances in place, give and take, and understanding.
What about on your end?
Yeah, it's not yet the time because of the statement released by Sandman. He needs to put out a different statement. I'm disappointed with his statement. He didn't accept any responsibility. That lack of responsibility, I don't accept.
Does he accept the video that shows what happened?
Apparently not. Apparently he's seeing a completely different video. At first, I wanted the teachers and chaperones to be reprimanded, some fired. Yep, we needed to gather a bunch of them.
This guy's just a nut, you know? He's just a nut. Yeah. He walked up to this kid and played a drum in his face for like 3 minutes.
That's what we're talking about.
Oh, yeah.
You're right.
He's just nuts.
As for the students, so the teachers, we need to fire some and, suspend some others. I was against any expulsions, but now I have to revisit that.
Yeah.
So he wants students.
You have no credibility.
Oh, he has to revisit that, does
he? And then he's going to teach us all a lesson, too. This is our youth. These students may be from a different culture, a different race, but I'm American and they are American. This is our youth. Is this the future we get? He stole my narrative. So Sandman stole Mr. Phillips' narrative. From the time I hit that first beat of the drum until the last beat, I was in prayer. Now all of a sudden he's the prayer guy and the passive one?
Oh my God.
Can you believe the words coming out of this fucking asshole's mouth?
Oh my God.
Fuck you, dude. He took issue that they referred to him as the Native American protester, too. I wasn't protesting. I was there for peace and blah, blah, blah. He's the one that came to town protesting. The students had an opportunity to not hate and to put on an olive branch and say, let's sit down and pray together. Instead, they responded to hate with hate. And
this is just this is like a nutty homeless guy speaking. It's crazy talk.
And you know what happened? Sandman transferred that hate to him.
All right.
Yeah. Can you believe that? Unbelievable. And then, as if we haven't heard enough from nut job assholes at this point, the guy, the radical Hebrew Israelite, how are people defending these guys in the fucking least? These are
they really?
They are the definition of hatred. They usually you see these people, 4 or 5 of them gathered on a sidewalk in New York or a subway.
Yes, dude.
And they're standing on milk crates usually, screaming at people, and they've got the signs. They're no different than the God hates fag assholes. God
Real
hates fags.
Problem solver.
It's incredible,
just
honestly.
Monsters.
You're right though. I've seen it a few times, and it is. I've actually stood and watched them only because it's so entertaining on some level. Because they're just people walking by, and they're like the video that we just saw. That's what they do. They'll just yell at them like, "Do you know Jesus was a faggot?" or whatever, or shit like this. Just he was not white. He was not white.
And they look like they're about to throw a punch, like they're waiting for someone to take a swing at them, or they're like in someone's face screaming. It's like, dude. They always look like they're about to go to blows whenever I've seen.
That's a good point too. You're right.
So we do know the identity of the main guy now. He is Chief Ephraim Israel of the House of Israel. Ephraim, is that it? Chief Ephraim Israel of the House of Israel. Great name. I wonder if that's a birth name, probably a given name. Anyway, and he told the New York Post, the word of God, it sparked it all. So he's very proud of this. And they've seen what they've done. They've been told. They've never been spoken like that by a black or Hispanic guy in their lives. The words of God. It was piercing. Their souls was getting ripped. They were catching darts and ninja stars all into their soul. Israel defended the insults he hurled at the students for more than an hour before good old Nathan Phillips stepped in. Israel claimed that the students took a knee like defensive linemen. They took a knee. These pussies didn't even fight back. Yeah, exactly, you fucking idiot.
Never seen anything so odd in all their lives. 16-year-old kids going to a big city going, holy fuck, what is it? Wait, what?
Isn't that a positive, by the way, that they didn't fight back?
You would think. Like,
you would
think.
Pussies.
They started doing their chants, so I was cutting into them. I called them dogs. They sounded like dogs. They actually interrupted what we was teaching. At that time, the kids took a position. They was all on one knee, like the offensive line and the defensive line, and it looked like they was going to rush us. That's when Phillips came. I wish he didn't. We was still preaching. We had so much more to go. Yeah. So, yeah, their enemies, their list of enemies includes white people. Well, duh. I mean, that's number one on everyone's list, right? If you're not white, and even white people are ashamed of their own whiteness at this point. White people, fraudulent Jews.
Fraudulent Jews.
So what the hell is a fraudulent Jew?
Not sure.
I'm not either.
Who's next?
I've heard Jews before. I'd like to know. Asians.
Okay.
The fuck do the Asians do?
No, seriously. The
Asians make delicious food. They're just sweet, sweet people.
One thing that Ty always jokes about when we're out and about and we start talking about anything like this is like, Ty's like, dude, I can do anything anywhere. He's always like, nobody has a problem with the Asians.
No.
It's just, they're just these kind of people that do their own thing, man.
Well, some of the universities.
Harvard admissions.
Yeah, Harvard admissions.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Too many of them are good at math. Fucking assholes.
Yeah.
So, they're trying to kick them down a notch, too. Continental Africans. And then gays. Gay people.
The gays.
So I imagine that's all shades of gay. Yeah.
By the way, on this story for one more second, Laurel writes in, and she's pissed, man. I take umbrage at your remark about the Covington chaperones. I've been one on countless field trips, and never have I or other chaperones had coffee cups full of something. No moms or dads off drinking on the side. And my kids were in school in the 80s. Perhaps you and yours behave in that fashion while escorting your kids. Just don't put that crap on other parents. Back off and check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Wait, did I say that, or did you say that, or did one of us say that?
Sounds like me.
It does sound like something you would say.
Also, recheck that video and tell me again how you think those kids were treated. And she said, and then she continues on. I'm back to shame you. Okay, this time you have a different take on the Covington kids. So I guess she listened to the next show. Where, it came to light that there was a second video. You are the problem when you blast off on an issue without knowing a thing. You bought the MSM narrative, maybe
mainstream media.
Oh, mainstream media. Okay. Yeah. Narrative on First Bite. Still think the parents were tipping a few?
What?
You should have said you spoke out much too soon on the debacle. I'm old, much older than you boys, so I'll tell you something. Always make sure your ducks are in a row. My mom taught us that from a very young age. Those kids went looking for nothing but got shit on and thrust into a world of hurt.
When did Mike ever jump on that?
No, never. I might have said in the videos that I saw, because I finally the next day watched like 2 hours of that video. But before that, I knew very much that these kids were getting fucked. And that this was not some innocent thing. I might have said, did the kids get out of line? Were they yelling and chirping when we were talking about the chants?
I still want to know where those chants come into play, because they absolutely were disrespecting the Native American guys by doing the FSU chant. And they are, they're being portrayed by one side as these noble, great kids who could do no wrong, and the other side as these hateful kids. Dude, they definitely were doing the FSU chant to kind of go, fuck you, Native American guy. They were.
Yeah.
And then my man standing there with the smirk. Maybe he was nervous. Maybe he was trying to be smug about it. Maybe he was, but I think the truth is probably a little bit more toward the middle than what the right is trying to portray these guys as.
I didn't like the immediate jump down and, because they're white and Catholic.
Well, they're wearing
the MAGA hats.
MAGA hats.
They are automatically to be dismissed as racist bigots, xenophobic pieces of shit.
Well, and don't forget, they're there for the pro-life demonstration.
Exactly. And, so when it was like, when I first read Nathan Phillips' account, and it was like, the beast and prey, and these black Hebrew Israelites, they said some things that weren't really nice, and that offended them. He just glossed over that whole thing. It's like, dude, I watched for an hour these guys be fucking monsters to a group of 16-year-old kids. They're kids. You're a 60-year-old man. What are you doing? Why are you?
He's a nut, dude. He's a nut.
Yeah, and the black Israelite assholes too. Dude, they guys in their 40s and 50s. yelling at 16, fuck off. So no, I did not at some point go, oh yeah, these kids, were they perfect? No, they behave like 16-year-olds behave.
So Laurel's point, I guess, is that we're not supposed to talk about a story until waiting a few days and seeing if 2-hour videos come out about each story, and maybe providing more context, because that maybe we made this mistake of believing every mainstream media source out there that was reporting it.
Right. And I think we have a pretty good track record, and you can tell me if I'm wrong. I think we at least try to be aware of narratives being spun. Dude, and I don't think
always being spun.
Yeah, I don't think we immediately take the mainstream media at their word and just jump on pile on people.
No, but we had a video that we were presented with. We were commenting on what we saw in that video.
Right.
And we both, my recollection is we both came at it. I think I used the phrase, I'm not sure what to think about this.
Yeah.
I watched this and I think so too. I don't know.
I love this though. And this is the lesson that people
But sorry for putting chaperones in that light. Yeah, chaperones never fucking stand up on the side and drink beer or something.
I don't know what chaperones do, but it just seemed like obvious. Like, okay, we've been watching this for an hour and a half. Where is a parent going, hey guys, let's go to the top of the steps and remove ourselves?
They're off the side drinking.
They were getting shit faced. Yeah,
for sure.
That's what
Laurel.
That's what I believe. It's a fact. I love it. All these celebrities who want to make their way to the front of the line and go and tweet something like, blah, 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 this is America, blah, and just shit all over people.
A lot of them are deleting now, right?
Oh, they're rushing to delete shit. And dude,
or they're doubling down and showing the kids in blackface.
Yeah.
Right. And they're looking for evidence like that. Well, look, no, this is really what these kids are all about.
I'm laughing so hard at this shit because some of them are apologizing too.
Really?
Dude, it's funny as shit because it's like, would you assholes get over yourself? Stop trying to teach us all a lesson after you fucked up. None of us jumped online and had to give our 2 cents about white Christian, God forbid they're against abortion. I don't give a shit about abortion, but I respect the fact that they are against abortion. I understand how someone would feel that way. Fuck off if you don't like it. Sorry. The country's divided. They went there, wanted to voice their opinion, have every right to do that. That doesn't make them guilty as shit. So celebrities, many have been quick to join the angry freak. Kathy Griffin deleted a tweet showing a photograph of the high school basketball players who were throwing up the new Nazi sign. Hey, Kathy, in a basketball game, when someone drains a three, people put up 3 fingers a lot of times.
Oh, my God.
That's not a white power symbol.
Oh, my God.
Shit. Yeah.
All those NBA refs are racist as shit then. Yeah. And the college refs, actually.
The refs, you're right.
I mean, third down.
That's the symbol, dude.
Third down, because it's hard to do. If you blink, you don't know. Is it 2 fingers, second down, third down?
No.
So they do it. They do the white power Nazi sign, which supposedly makes a W and a P if you do the OK sign.
Oh, my God, in a high school basketball.
Look at these
stupid.
Look at these players throwing up the new Nazi sign. Fuck off, dude. The players, let's see here. Jack Morrissey, producer. Credits include Beauty and the Beast, movies from the Twilight franchise. He deleted a tweet about MAGA kids screaming hats first into the wood chipper with a picture of a wood chipper with a half a body in it and blood spraying
16-year-old kids. That's nice.
Yep. The tweet included this cartoon showing the blood spraying out of it. So he later apologized. Yesterday, I tweeted an image based on Fargo that was meant to be satirical, as always. Sounds like it. But I see now that was in bad taste. I offended many people. My sincerest apologies. I would never seriously suggest violence against others, especially kids. Lesson learned.
Well, you did, though.
You did, though. You would never suggest.
I have an example of you suggesting it yesterday.
We've got a very good example. Like, what you're apologizing for was kind of suggesting physical harm to children.
So, via wood chipper.
Yeah. That's not physical harm. That's immediate death.
It's
horrible death. Ron Perlman, the Sons of Anarchy star, tweeted, this morning I did something I very rarely do. I deleted one of my tweets.
What a self-important asshole.
Everybody, can I have your attention? I need to make an announcement.
Gather around.
Gather around, world, internet.
A lot of you are familiar with my work on on shows such as Sons of Anarchy.
Never seen it.
You're all going to want to listen up. Today, I did something that I rarely do. I deleted a tweet. Good for you,
asshole.
In reference to the skirmish between the miners and the elders, what we need, and this is,
boy.
No, what you need, fuckface. Don't tell me what we need. This is what you need based on the tweet that you're deleting and now talking about. Fucker. What we need less of in this country are deep divisions that rip apart our emotions. Fucking egomaniac. Are you shitting me?
How does he type this with a straight face?
But we need more of it to start. We need rip apart our emotions. We need more to start rowing in the same boat.
If the other side would just give up and row with my
right.
side.
Exactly.
But let me be clear. So we all need to be rowing in the same direction in the same boat.
Backwards or forward?
I would go back. I would go forward.
Don't you want to be able to see where you're going?
Dude, this summer we need to have a rowboat race, the three of us. Okay?
No, you're way
I am going to
than us.
fucking kill you.
Of course you will.
You guys row the wrong way.
I want to see where I'm going. If you just put rear view mirrors,
man.
Rear view mirrors on there, and I'll row the right way.
Does your neck turn?
Hardly.
You don't drive your car like this, do you?
Oh my god. You guys row wrong. I can't believe it.
You know, believe it.
How inefficient.
Love seeing where I'm going. I should send him
I should reply to his tweet with a rowing image and go, do we go forward or backwards?
So we need to start rowing in the same boat. But let me be clear.
Oh, here we go.
And this is what was behind my initial vitriol. The boat needs to represent decency, compassion, tolerance, and an essential regard for the values that young men and women died for in defense of this nation.
So you didn't take back anything in your tweet?
Yeah. So
essentially.
Just stop saying stuff. People like that, you know?
I know, right?
Let's just.
How about you just shut the fuck up, dude?
I'd rather have him not even delete the original tweet
so much
and never
noise on Twitter. Twitter just sucks balls.
Sucks balls, dude. He referred. So he's talking about compassion, tolerance, decency, essential regard for the values of people that died for this country, as opposed to the day before when he called Nicholas Sandmann a little bitch in this soul crushing image whose punishment will be an entire lifetime of regret.
Oh man,
I can't even stand it. I would pay him. I don't have it, but I would pay.
Hypocrisy is blinding, dude.
Dude, I don't have it, but I would pay $1 million if I could gain $1 million and lose it in a second to freaking have that dude face to face and read those tweets to him and laugh in his fucking face.
He's telling us today that we need to represent decency, compassion, and tolerance. And yesterday he referred to a 16-year-old as the little bitch in this soul-crushing image whose punishment will be an entire lifetime of regret.
An entire lifetime?
Are you fucking kidding me? In the wake of the new evidence, Jamie Lee Curtis tweeted.
So we can
Jamie Lee Curtis is going to let us know.
Star of Halloween from 1972. Shit.
84-year-old Jamie Lee Curtis.
She was in those Verizon commercials, wasn't she? Or Sprint or something?
Who I don't think has ever settled the debate of whether or not she has a dick and balls, right?
That's what she's most famous for, probably.
Dick and balls or Halloween?
I think the dick and balls were
her. I mean, because it's kind of like... is it the gerbil or is it Pretty Woman?
Right, Richard Gere.
That Richard Gere is most known for.
No, it's the hermaphrodite thing, I think, for Jamie Lee.
Anyway, she's come out and she wants everyone, excuse me, everybody, I've got something to say. I've got something to say. There are two sides to every story. I made a snap judgment based on a photograph, and I know better than to judge a book by its cover.
No, you don't.
I wasn't there. No, you clearly don't. Right, know. You don't know to do that because you didn't do that 24 hours prior.
You just did it.
I wasn't there. I shouldn't have commented. I'm glad there wasn't violence. I hope these two men, now it's a 60-year-old man and a 16-year-old child. These two men.
Who the 60-year-old walked up to and threw a drum in his face.
Who has gigundous Dumbo ears too. I don't know if you've paid attention to his fucking ears. Maybe that's why he's... Maybe that's why he's trying to portray himself as a nutbag, just to keep the attention.
It's changing the subject.
Change that subject so people don't go, dude, by the way, what's up with those fucking lobes, man? What's up with those ears? They're huge. So I hope these two men can meet and find common ground, as can we all. All caps for the last we all.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll happen.
Kathy Griffin tweeted on Sunday.
But this was classy as fuck.
Wow, yeah, those are big lobes, man.
Yeah. And in the in one of the other pictures, he did a sit-down television interview, and it was just like, it was hard to pay attention. Those fucking taxi cab ears sticking out. But anyway, P.S. The reply from the school was pathetic and impotent. Name these kids. I want names. Shame them. If you think these fuckers wouldn't dox you in a heartbeat, think again.
Saw that one, dude.
Thanks, Kathy. John Cusack tweeted.
I need names.
I need names. Shame them. Let's band together. Name and shame 16-year-old kids.
And doxing is what? Releasing like personal information?
Yeah, someone's address, phone number, shit like that. John Cusack. Haven't heard from him in a while. High Fidelity, is that Cusack?
Man.
Yeah, again, who?
Grosse Point Blank.
Grosse Point Blank. There you go. What is he
one of the kids
for?
in 16 Candles. Shit. No, he's my Say Anything.
Say Anything.
You know, standing there with the fucking jam box.
That's right. And he's most known also for his sister Joan Cusack.
Yeah.
Who does fairly well. So John, it was very important for him to come out and let people know how progressive, liberal, and he's not going to tolerate this kind of thing, So excuse me, everybody, if I could have your attention for a moment. You might know me from such films as Say Anything and Grosse Point High, and I've got something to say that I'm famous, so it demands to be heard. You see the blue check mark next to my account handle. This Covington School thing is beyond belief. The lack of basic respect for an elder, any elder, is the number one symptom of a sick society. MAGA Catholics, all caps, paving the road of ignorance. You are a disgrace. Look that word up. It means something. Learn your history. Catholics.
Catholics now.
Grow some spine, clergy. Lead by example and stop embarrassing the rest of us who know better. There is no supporting MAGA that can be rationalized. Thanks, John. That was helpful.
John Cusack.
We got to delete that one. Holy shit.
He didn't apologize overtly. He just deleted.
No, I think we're just deleting at this point. Deborah Messing called the student. Let's see. Mock Deborah Messing. We all know. Everybody, I was part of Will and Grace on NBC.
It's back on. I mean, that's on again. And although it basically just came on again to slam Trump, I think, or something like.
I spent a few years on TV. I made mountains of money, more than any of you will ever see in a lifetime. So I'm very, very important, and I need to let you all know this, okay? In case you were wondering. Mocking, condescending, disrespecting asshole. 16-year-old boy. Nicholas Sandman sat down for an interview with Savannah Guthrie yesterday on the Today Show on NBC. Tens of thousands of comments, almost all of them negative and critical of her. Are you normalizing hate? Giving racism a platform, I see. Michael Green, the writer known for Blade Runner 2049. A face like that never changes. This image will define his life. No one need ever forgive him.
Oh, shit, dude.
Yeah.
Holy shit. I can't even.
This image will define his life. No one need ever forgive him.
For what?
Ed Asner. The legendary actor. They have to say legendary actors. It's like I haven't heard Ed Asner's name. He's
the fucking alive?
I didn't know that either.
Holy shit.
I wish he wasn't, but I guess he still is.
That dude.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah. What was he in?
89 years
Bob
old.
Newhart or something?
Something like that. I think he most recently was the voice of the old man in Up, the Pixar film Up.
Oh, okay.
Which was pretty good.
But he wrote, "This is a disgrace. This is not America." Chris Evans from the Avengers. You know the actor there. Hey, everybody, I'm Chris Evans. I was paid mountains of money, the likes of which you will never, ever, ever in your life. You could work 100 lifetimes. You will never see the mountains of money that I've made for a silly little Hollywood movie. So
for portraying Captain America.
For playing Captain America, yes. So because of that, I have something to say that you all need to hear. This is appalling. The ignorance, the gall, period. The disrespect, it's shameful and sadly on brand.
But here's the thing, though. With all that said, and it is stupid that these people scream from the mountaintops all this crap, and they're unimportant, and it's hilarious to see their egos. At the same time, the mainstream media is reporting this and showing this clipped video.
Oh, yeah.
Without showing the full context. So you are being fed a portrayal of the incident that just, kind of. I can understand why somebody would look at that and go, "A fucking asshole."
Yeah.
Look at that fucking kid. He walks up to this Native American guy. He's going to stand there and smirk like that.
Yeah. But we've seen the media do this for so long, for so many stories. Their credibility is fuck all. It means less than nothing to me. When I see.
Yeah, but you're not supposed to, believe any video clip you see until you wait 3 days and see more context to it.
Here's how we tend to handle these stories. Girl at Qdoba. We see a minute interaction where we jump in the middle and everyone goes, that person needs to be fired. I will never eat a Qdoba again. Fucking racism. Yeah. Unbelievable. This is, are you proud, America? Hashtag racism. Hashtag unbelievable.
Yeah, we went. You go. All right. There has to be more to the story.
We said, here's the video. Here's what people are talking about. Here's what people are saying. However, we're not going to just jump on board with that narrative because it's not fair to define these people's existence in life based on 1 minute interaction that we're jumping into the tail end of.
Yeah.
And somebody decided to record at this point, maybe edit, and end it at this point.
Listen.
So
I'm not saying I would do what Chris Evans and these others did.
No, you wouldn't. Never you would do that.
But it's not totally unreasonable given what they were fed in terms of the circumstances here. It's not.
See, I think it's 100% unreasonable. You have a platform. People listen to you, and we've seen example after example after example of the fucking media lying about shit like this, and then coming back 3 days later going, oh, yeah, I guess there was more to the story. I would have way more respect for Chris Evans if he says, boy, on its face, this video is very troubling. Perhaps there's more to this story we don't know yet. Everybody calm down. Let's reserve judgment until we know more facts. That's a responsible tweet to send out.
I agree with you that we've seen over and over and over like bullshit stories, but when everybody is presenting it as that, and I didn't pay a huge amount of attention over the weekend to it, but every piece I saw was presented in the same way. There was no suggestion that, oh shit, this take it easy here. There could be something else going on. And yeah, there always could be something. There always could be some other side.
Sure. I think, and if Chris Evans wants to show a clip of that video, tweet it and say, this is appalling, the ignorance, the gall, whatever, fine. You've let people know that this appears to be a racist, smug fucking video, punks, mocking a Native American as he's trying to celebrate Indigenous Peoples Day. It looks awful. You want to say that? Fine. The problem I have now is everybody wants to not only say they're appalled, and we're going to great lengths to show just how appalled we are, but when you start going, this is what this country is, this represents what America is, this is...
Yeah, you're fitting it into your agenda.
Yeah, and it's like, no, motherfucker, that's not how America is. America is one of the most tolerant countries ever. We just are. We can show examples of shit everywhere. It goes on all over the world. So for you to just like wipe the entire country down to, yep, told you, this is what you are. No, that's bullshit, and it's not fair, Chris Evans. When he says something, it's the disrespect. It's shameful and sadly on brand. So what that says is, this is the norm, folks. This is what you whiteys do.
Sadly on brand for MAGA hat wearers.
That when something like this isn't even surprising, it's evidence to our place in the cycle of recreating our darkest chapters.
Yeah.
That Native American man showed incredible strength and dignity. You know what's not even surprising, Chris, is the reaction that all you Hollywood fucking assholes have every time you know half a story and paint it for your narrative. That's what's not surprising. And that, in my opinion, is what's on brand. Is you guys keep doing the same fucking thing. It's insulting and it's not helping.
Yeah, I guess my thing is, where do you assign more of the blame? As I said, there's plenty of blame to go around, but when you have foundationally companies creating what the story is and pushing it out there, I think they're most to blame. They had the whole fucking video.
Yep, they sure did.
And they kept shoving it, and they've done it for a couple days. Not
that this is shocking, but I did see that like Facebook, of course, was on purposely like taking down videos that showed that whole thing. And I know that's not shocking, but that is
shocking.
That's the core of it. If that doesn't happen, then you don't have the opportunity for these assholes to chime in with this bullshit.
Well,
because if you really put the whole thing up or really displayed it in context as it should have been from the outset, then you'd have reasonable people on both sides going, no, man, watch the next 20 minutes or watch the first 20 minutes, whatever.
Well, it's why.
But at the time it was presented, it was just like, this is it.
Well, that's what they wanted it to be, right?
Yeah. Right, of course. They wanted to put that narrative out there, and they don't seem to learn their lesson. And it's shame. When we talk here, especially me, I've blathered about it for 5 years now, about how dangerous it is when you don't truly have a media that you feel is being honest. It's where the fake news tag comes from. I hate saying fake news because it sounds like a Trump supporter type thing. I've been saying it long before Trump was president. But there's a narrative being pushed and an agenda being shoved, and it makes you question.
It's the business model, man.
I know.
It's how their advertisers are coming to them because they know that a certain segment of society is listening to that side of it.
Right.
And so it's just simply a TV show.
But it's I guess it's sad to me because you can look further down the road and see where this goes. If people are just in their echo chamber or whatever and believing what they want to believe and just feeding themselves full of shit that they want to believe, it's destroying the country. It's not helping. It's destructive, and you're doing it for clicks, and you're doing it for money. And
there's going to be more people that are going to get.
It's the death of journalism. Journalism didn't used to be that way.
And journalism will always be as it is now because of the incentive to. So what people need to do is understand that and not fucking believe one side or the other, and just think for themselves and realize that, okay, this is what. I mean, don't you read everything with a grain of salt now?
Everything.
You know, you're like, okay, this is the story. You know, let me read another thing about that.
And you're better at it than me.
I mean, but you have to. You have to just be suspicious of this shit. It's the people who just hook, line, and sinker. Oh, Fox News said this. Yeah. Therefore, CNN said this. Therefore, are you fucking kidding me?
Break. Yeah.
They're all trying to sell their shit to you.
Yeah. Yep. There was one person that I did see that wrote something. It's Patricia Heaton. She was the mom, I guess, on Everybody Loves Raymond, right?
Okay. I can sort of picture her.
I think what she said is spot on, and it's what I say too, that you can't do this to people. It follows them forever. Anytime the name Covington is mentioned, this shit comes up for the remainder of time. The internet doesn't go anywhere. So she wrote, I'm seeing what I believe to be sincere apologies from some journalists and verified media persons regarding their lack of professionalism in rushing to judgment. These apologies are welcome and necessary, but they don't address the damage that cannot be undone, which was inflicted upon young people who are about to embark on adulthood, applying to colleges, looking for employment, etc. These young people will forever have these smears follow them through their life every time they proffer their resume with the word Covington on it. It will also affect anyone who ever has or ever will attend that school. The damage is incalculable. And yet those who perpetrated this destruction, no matter how unintended, are still at their jobs with nary a consequence for their reckless behavior. It seems to me that an apology without some kind of accompanying action, which speaks to the seriousness of their transgression, a suspension from work, some loss of pay, renders any apology empty. Amen. Some kind of compensatory action would go a long way in signaling their recognition of the seriousness of their transgression and help to restore what's left of the public's very fragile trust in their reputations as trustworthy journalists. However, I don't believe this will happen.
Dude,
it won't happen.
The only good news for a kid like that, the Sandman who was slammed like this, is that for now there is an opposing side.
Right.
So as that dwindles, then it gets really dangerous, you know? Because right now there's college funds being set up for the kid. You know, he can be taken care of by one side, but
sure,
you just wait until one side starts to take over. Oh, now it's 70% of the country that views this and only 30 on the other side. Now it's 80, now it's 20. Oh boy.
But the fact of the matter is, a lot of these people that get pulled from absolute obscurity to front page of every newspaper in the country and on the Today Show trying to defend themselves, dealing with death threats, their schools shut down.
Crazy world,
it's
man.
Insanity, and it's terribly unfair. And they didn't ask for that. The girl at Qdoba did not ask for that. This kid, Sandman, didn't ask for that.
It's all these goddamn phones, man, filming in portrait.
You know, T-Roy and I were talking about this yesterday, and, you know, we were talking, you know, about the destruction of all this stuff. And you know, we've kind of talked about this before too, Jay, and it's like the whole Twitter, social media is really what's enabled people. And I just finally got to the point I went, you know what I think it is, dude? I don't think everybody's supposed to be heard by everybody.
Yeah, we said that before.
I don't think that every uncomfortable moment or slight in life is meant to be addressed by the rest of the country. There's 340 million people in this country. Just because someone is a dick to you, well, you know what, dude? I'm sorry. Life is going to be difficult if you throw a dress, a wig, and makeup on and say you're a woman. I don't know what to tell you. Some people are going to be assholes about that. That's what comes with being brave enough to go and live your life, knowing and understanding that it's going to come with a little bit of fucking trouble along the way. You can't just expect everyone to be nice to you perfectly. Ma'am, it's ma'am. Sorry, sir.
Obviously, ma'am.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah. It's not obviously, ma'am. It's not obviously,
obviously.
ma'am.
That was my favorite part about it. Obviously.
And it's like, you know what? If you're gonna be a fat slob, some people are gonna be dicks and point it out. Doesn't mean you rush to social media and everybody's got to jump and, oh my God, this fat shaming has this. Stop it. You know, politicians, you're representing 340 million people. Every fucking squabble and incident that happens in society is not meant to be dealt with by your politicians.
It's Twitter, dude. Twitter's the one, because Twitter is instantaneous and you can address people directly.
Yeah.
If it was just a Facebook world, Facebook, Instagram, it'd be a lot less.
True. If you could snap your fingers and go, Jay, Twitter goes,
you're asking
bye-bye.
the wrong person.
Maybe so, because
Twitter, bye.
I like going to Twitter and knowing what the top stories.
It is not worth it. Unbalanced, it is so bad.
Yeah. I like knowing what's trending in the world and in the country and seeing just like really quick in one spot, bang, 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 bang. These 10 stories are the biggest in the world right now or whatever. I like that. I would sacrifice that convenience to scrap the whole fucking thing.
In a second.
It's
a shit show.
Doesn't mean I'm getting off it. As long as it's there, we'll be on it. But it's just sad, man. It's sad that we keep seeing these stories and nothing different happens. It's just unbelievably sad. Let's take a quick timeout. We got to go over, Jay, the Hall of Fame, the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Yes, sir.
And hockey, you were telling me that hockey's doing some interesting things for, what is it, the All-Star Game?
Yeah, the NHL All-Star Game. I guess NBC is having some things they're going to try out on the broadcast.
Cool.
Maybe bring some things back.
Oh, boy.
You know what I'm talking about. Glow puck.
Oh, boy. We'll get into the details next.
The Detroit Cast continues after this short break. continues now, bitches. Here are Mike and Jay.
All right. Welcome back to the show. And, boy, we've got something exciting. I have not seen it yet. We'll get to it in just a moment. We have a response letter from Mr. Ansara.
Yes, we do.
Who banned E for life for pulling his dick out in front of a manager to Red Robin years ago.
Oh, yeah. It's a comprehensive letter, too. It's good.
I have to say, by the way, it's something that didn't set in even until after it happened. But the fact that I've gotten to now tell somebody that was on that movie that story when we talked to David
Keckner.
Yeah, last week. That was really cool when I think about it now. Yeah, I messaged a few people I worked with back in the day. I was like, dude, we actually told someone from that movie.
Yeah, and if I recall, David was very impressed by you.
Oh, yeah.
He was. He actually said your name,
I know.
So that's kind of cool.
Good enough.
Before we get to that, I did want to wrap up the conversation we had, extensive conversation we had. I wanted to play one more clip for you guys. And it's Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar. Joy Behar known to despise Trump and everything about him, blah, blah, blah. But when these
Whoopi Goldberg known to wear smockish type tops and look very androgynous.
I mean, she was in Sister Act, so.
Yeah. And so anyway, they're doing their little shit on the View and you know, they played the clips and now it's like, well, you know, are we going to learn from when we do this, blah, blah. I thought Joy Behar's response was very interesting and telling in a moment of honesty. But go ahead, E. We'll let this play.
So many people admitted they made snap judgments before these other facts came in. But is it that we just instantly say that's what it is based on what we see in that moment and then have to walk stuff back when it turns out we're wrong? Why is that? Do we keep making the same mistake?
Because we're desperate to get Trump out of office. That's why.
Not everybody.
There you go.
Wow.
There you go. In other words, the truth doesn't matter. Reality doesn't matter. The only thing of importance is how can we get this guy out of office?
That's something. Like
that should
16-year-old kid's life is turned upside down.
Yeah.
It shouldn't shock me, but it does. Like to say it that harshly.
Dude, that is very, very telling. I hope people listen to what she just said there.
Well, you know, we all know it, right? But to hear one of them say it.
I wonder if she looks back at that and goes, I shouldn't have said that.
Are you kidding me?
Because that's embarrassing, man. She basically said, oh, so we destroy a bunch of 16-year-old Catholic schoolboys' lives?
Got to break a few eggs.
Yeah, man, it's part of the process. Whatever, man. As long as it's one step closer to taking down Trump. That's the goal. Fuck.
Hey, everybody. The North American International Auto Show is here, and the party animals at Zott Ford are celebrating with insane rebates and massive auto show bonus cash. Lease a new 19 Ford Fusion Hybrid, yes, a hybrid, as low as $82 a month with zero cash due. Or you can lease a new 19 Ford all-wheel drive Escape as low as $131 a month. Finally, if the #1 selling truck in America is more your thing, lease a new 19 Ford F-150 Super Crew 4x4 as low as $112 a month, only from Zott Ford and Holly. Now, Mike.
Okay, I can read this E's letter in E's voice, or you can read it, Jay, or E can read it.
No,
whatever
go ahead.
you want.
I can't even probably read it.
Easus, him saying that, yes, Easus, read your own goddamn letter.
No, I was kind of kidding, to be honest with you. I'm sure I can fucking read it. I'm not even going to look it up. I'm not going to look it up there. I can't stand up there and see it.
Dear Ansaras, which is plural, but he puts in an apostrophe.
Right.
Okay. Dear Ansaras, my name is Eric Fady. You got it, Easus?
No. Sorry, 1 second.
Why don't you just pull that over, man?
I didn't think about that. So,
No.
Plus I'm trying to show it to the people. So, well, I'm trying to have it on the YouTube. I thought that people would want to see that.
You just swing the screen around?
No, I can't.
Stand
actually.
up. I don't.
Easy. You can't. Really? It's on a bigger screen. It's easy as shit to read. Go ahead. Go.
Whatever. I used to work at one of your restaurants, and to be exact, the Novi Red Robin. It was back in November of 06 through May of 07. I do not know if you remember a situation where an employee was fired for showing his genitals to a manager, but that was me. It was a game from a movie called Waiting. I was the one who started it. Wait a minute.
Hold on. Can we do this right? Because the misspellings are just such a treat.
Well, then I don't know what
Dear Ansaras, my name is Eric Fady. I used to work at one of your restaurants. REASTRAWNTS.
I don't give him a bunch of guff for restaurant.
Yeah.
That's a tough one.
All right. Fair enough. To be exact, at Novi Red Robin. It was back in November of 06. He got through right.
Oh.
Good job, E. And November. May of 07. I do not know if you remember a situation where an employee, all spelled correctly, was fired for showing his genitals. Genetals.
Jesus, what did you cross out before that? Was it cock and
testicles?
Testicles.
And I thought that might be a little too harsh.
Well, it's not accurate, is it? It was your dick, right?
Both? Was it dick and balls?
My pants were down.
Just show your cock and balls.
Cock and balls.
Both, bro.
To a manager. Mannger.
Mannger. Interesting.
Manager. But that was me. It was a game from a movie called Waiting. Wating. I was the one who started and got people, People, from a movie called, I was the one who started and got people on board. Although, not the only one that participated. It's more like PQRTICIE.
PQR. That doesn't even happen in the English language. That combination of letters.
Dude, I don't PQ.
Fine.
P looks like puptician.
That's a PAR.
PARTICIENTED.
Yeah, okay, now I see the PAR.
Yeah. I wanted to write you all these years, THES, years later, to apologize, APPOLIGZE.
You struggled with that one. There's some crossing.
Want to apologize for my actions.
Yeah.
I lost. I just saw it as and he just crossed that line out. That line didn't exist. I'm just going to put one solid line.
What was happening was I was going to try to write more. There was another page that I don't have. That I was.
God damn you. Have we been going for 16 hours, Jay? I don't know. The clock's frozen. I'm not sure. I don't know how long we've been talking now.
Yeah, I can look.
So is there a rest of this? Is there a second page?
There's a second page that I don't have.
Okay.
That was sent.
So we've received a response from restaurant mogul Victor Ansara.
Hero to many.
He
employs many Americans.
Provided a lengthy document in response to this.
Did he sign that? Did he sign that
at
Ledger himself?
Mr. Fady, I would like to begin by emphasizing that Ansara Restaurant Group stands firmly behind our original decision to immediately terminate your employment, and we in no way condone any of your actions while employed with our company. With that being said, even though most of it was illegible and looked like a child could have written it, I appreciate your letter. I hope that you have matured over the past few years and have grasped the severity of your actions. Our company has been in business for 60 years, and you single-handedly opened the entire company up to liability. Not only did you expose yourself to other adults without consent, but you also potentially endangered minors that could have been accidentally involved. Somehow, miraculously, we were not sued over this incident, which is the only... Have some fucking patriotic music behind.
Yeah, it's true American. He employs thousands of people.
Somehow, miraculously, we're not sued over this incident, which is the only reason I can now laugh about it. I have sons around your age, so I understand that young people can sometimes lack maturity and make poor choices. Granted, my sons never lit their genitals on fire or drank their own urine, and thankfully only attended 8th grade one time.
Oof.
In closing, I truly hope that you have matured enough now to realize that in life your actions have real consequences. With that being said, all is forgiven. Wow. There is obviously no possible way I would ever allow you to work for my company again in any capacity, though I have modified the lifetime ban and attached a list with some restrictions. We are happy to invite you back to dine at most Red Robin locations, as long as you are accompanied by your mother. The Novi location is still off limits due to obvious reasons. All of our other affiliated restaurants are happy to welcome you as long as you have either Mike or Jay with you, and they are willing to accept responsibility for your actions. See, that's I'll go with them, but
I may have already ate at that Novi Red Robin before. So I guess I didn't know though. Going forward,
dude, what is a lifetime
ban? What do you mean?
But I ate there.
You're banned. You're still alive.
Well, I wasn't working there. You can't eat.
On a side note,
that's what a lifetime ban means.
No, the lifetime ban was for hiring, not because you couldn't eat there.
This might be the most troubling part of the letter. On a side note, unfortunately, because of yourself and the antics of people like you, we were forced to stop allowing our team members to have Christmas parties.
Oh.
Remember the drained keg?
Oh, I do.
Yeah. He left a keg open, drained an entire keg all over the floor of said establishment.
It wasn't one of those quarter barrels. It was a full barrel. Was it a big keg, E?
I mean, it was just out of the restaurant.
It was big and shiny.
Yeah, silver and shiny. Was it this big or this big?
I don't remember.
I wish you
probably
the best
a
of luck.
full, I guess. I don't know.
Wish you the best of luck in your future endeavors, and God bless your poor mother for putting up with you all these years. Regards, Victor and Sarah.
Wow.
Now, this is what's interesting.
We need to frame that.
He provided a color-coded listing of all of their establishments, and they are vast. But
he's put this to a graph, charted this thing out for us?
Yeah, he's charted it out, and he's put it so green indicates that he's allowed to attend these spots, but we have to accompany him, either you or I.
So are these Red Robins or other establishments that he's allowed to go to?
Twin Peaks, Portofino on the river, Burgers, etc. Lots of different establishments.
Burgers, have you guys been to those Burgers places?
I've been meaning to. There's one over by Oakland.
One just opened up down the street.
Okay.
Right down the street.
So, as you can see in yellow, bright yellow, he is not invited back to the Red Robin and Novi. So that's
really?
off limits, all caps, lifetime ban. The blue ones indicated allowed while accompanied by Mrs. Fady.
Is any adult, or it's got to be his mom? It's got to be his mommy.
His mom,
yeah.
Well, you know what?
Well, he does behave more around his mommy. He won't swear. He won't drink, anything like that. So,
hi, Mrs. Fady.
The last time I went to the Novi one, I actually did go with my mom. So
okay.
I mean, I know I'm not even supposed to go there, period, but at least my mom was there.
At least there's that. Well, that's good news, I guess. You know, he did forgive you.
Hey, you know what? I mean, I asked for forgiveness, and that's how that works. I mean, I meant it.
But now, do you understand how this company dodged a bullet due to your actions? Jesus, they could have been sued.
Of course, yeah, I didn't think. None of us were thinking about that shit at the time, but of course, looking back on it, it could have been terrible.
Thinking about only yourself.
If that would have been and the funny and the entertainment of my other coworkers, but
thinking of yourself, wanting a laugh.
I suppose. I mean, if it had been a female, now looking back on it, there's so many things I think about. If it had been a female, manager walking out there, I mean, how much worse that could have been. This
one was a manager.
Yeah.
M-A-N-N.
Yeah.
I know that's my point though. I'm just saying when you say looking back on things, I don't think about that shit.
What a great open by Victor too. I would like to begin by emphasizing that Ansara Restaurant Group stands firmly behind our original decision to immediately terminate your employment, and we in no way condone any of your actions while employed with our country. Boy, that's a good opening sentence, man. That really gets to the point. Hits hard, right?
That is, I don't know, man. That's funny.
Well, it took a big man to write this, and
I thank you. I appreciate that.
He's not you. Not you at all.
My apology.
I'm sorry, sir, that it took so long to get this much overdue apology from young Eric here, and he, you're a big man to show such patience and restraint and forgiveness overall. I mean, you can tell that you're a very spiritual man and willing to forgive.
I think it's quite generous that he's allowing him to go to his other establishments too.
And it's fair. What basically his overall message was: I'm willing to forgive, but I'm not willing to forget. You know what I mean?
I don't.
He learned,
and he's got to look after his business.
And there are consequences and penalties for your actions.
I understand.
He taught you a very valuable lesson.
Too bad. I I guess I can go to other Red Robins, he said. So it's just a few that I can't go to.
Well, there's one that's just completely off limits. So don't abuse that.
You know what, dude? I drive by that every day, and it, honest to God, even taking this out of the side, I think about it probably 90% of the time. I know where the manager.
I do too. I go by that one all the time, and I think about that.
But I look at I know where the door is that the manager people go out for smokes, and I just think about
Word
the moment.
Association, Red Robin, Big E's, Cock and Bulls.
Yeah,
that's what I think, man.
I can see the fucking door.
Last thing Victor wants to hear is that word association.
No, he wants to think delicious burgers, fries, family atmosphere.
Well, and then
you don't want to think Big E's, Cock and Bulls.
Cock and Bulls.
Well, the thing was too, I had another worker with me, and he had my backside, but he had the other side. He was waiting, just making sure no one came in from the restaurant side.
You had a single lookout in a spot that required two lookout men.
It was a very fast situation. It was a very fast situation.
Anyway, okay. Mentioned earlier the Baseball Hall of Fame. Any surprises? I don't know if you saw the numbers coming in. Mariano Rivera gets in. No shock there. That's
of course.
Edgar Martinez. And Roy Halladay, who died in a plane crash, flying himself last year, was that? And Mike Mussina. So those are the four newest members of the Hall of Fame. Mariano Rivera, by the way, becomes the first player ever to be unanimously voted into the Hall.
Oh, wow.
On all 425 ballots.
Oh, okay.
As a relief pitcher.
Oh, but dude, he was such a badass.
I know.
Yeah, but there's always some fucking writer who wants to make the story about himself, right? So and it's just tradition too, baseball tradition. You just don't do that.
Well, they did it for him. That's cool. Before him, the highest vote percentage to gain Hall of Fame entry belonged to Ken Griffey Jr. In 2016. He received 99.3%. Who was the guy?
Yeah, there's
437 of 440.
The guy they just talked about.
Who are the 3 assholes that went Ken Griffey Jr.? I'm on the fence with that one. Really?
No, it's not that they're on the fence. They just want to make them wait because that's tradition.
Assholes. Martinez, in his final year on the ballot, got 85.5%. Late surge of support. He received just 27% 4 years ago.
Can you give me some numbers on him? I remember him as a Seattle Mariner and being really solid, but
okay, so Martinez spent his entire career with the Mariners. He won 2 batting titles, hit .312 with 309 home runs over 18 seasons. He's one of just 6 players who began their careers after World War II and retired with a 300 batting average.
Yeah, I was going to say 312 is
300 batting average, 400 on base percentage, and 500 slugging. So one of 6 players to do that. As far as Mariano Rivera, greatest closer of all time, record 652 saves over his 19 years with the Yankees. He won 5 titles, helped them win 5 World Series, 42 postseason saves, including 14 of 2 innings. That's more 2-inning saves than all other relievers combined in the postseason while he was active. Martinez, let's see, I did Martinez. Halladay played 12 seasons with the Blue Jays, Final 4 with the Phillies, and he won 2 Cy Youngs, 1 with each franchise, finished second 2 other times, threw a perfect game, tossed a no-hitter for the Phillies in the NLDS against the Reds. During his peak, he threw 61 complete games, 30 more than the number 2 guy, CC Sabathia. Yeah. Mussina played 18 seasons, 10 with the Orioles, 8 with the Yanks. 5-time All-Star, earned 7 Gold Gloves, never won a Cy Young, but finished second in 99 behind Pedro Martinez. Hal Steinbrenner, he's one of the owners, managing partner for the Yankees. Success and stardom never changed Mariano and his respect for the game. The Yankees didn't even wait until his final game to retire his number 42, and he was the last player in the majors to wear that number. He was grandfathered in. Remember, they retired that number for Jackie Robinson league wide, and so pretty good. Lastly, too, you got a couple guys that didn't make it because you need 75% to get in. Kurt Schilling got 60.9%.
It's politically motivated.
Totally is. Schilling was great, but people do not like his politics.
Yeah, how does he compare to what's his name, Halladay?
I don't know.
Numbers there, no.
Yeah, I know some people are like, he doesn't have the numbers, but I remember Schilling as being dominant for a while. Whatever. What do I know? Roger Clemens 59.5. Barry Bonds 59.1. Those are trickling up for them. They're up 3 or 4 points this year compared to last year. Obviously, Bonds, you could argue, is the greatest hitter of all time, but you've got the steroid stuff, accusations and whatnot. I don't think he's ever admitted to that still, but they've got 3 years left on the ballot.
Head grew 8 sizes.
Yeah.
Strangely enough.
I know. It's kind of, but all people say, dude, he dominated for 12 years before that ever started. He was first ballot Hall of Famer then. So I don't know if they'll get in. They got 3 more chances. Most people think they won't. So it'll have to be, one of the players' committees that eventually.
That's what got Trammell in, right? Wasn't it?
Yes, exactly. And lastly, Sammy Sosa, 8.5%.
Samuel.
Oh man, and now he's a white guy. It's just so weird.
Now he's a white guy.
Oh yeah, Sammy Sosa.
I haven't seen him. Pull him up.
Oh, Sammy Sosa's white now.
Jesus, Bing, that son of a bitch.
Yep.
I had no idea.
Yep. I think we've talked about that. The red hat one.
Oh, sure.
I remember that's the kind of picture I remember, I think.
I'll be damned.
Look at that.
Huh.
Welcome to the fam. Yeah. We got Sammy Sosa with us now.
Huh.
Who knew?
Put one up from his playing days, Jesus. Because I mean.
Sammy Sosa. What is he, Cuban or what?
I mean,
one of those.
Speaks Spanish. Holy shit, man.
Yeah, I know. He switched teams, man. A lot of guys in the bigs go to different teams. He just went to the white team.
That is a major difference.
Yeah. Put it up next to that. Let me see that one in the red again. Because he's like, no, I do not do anything to my skin or anything.
Dude. Why you got to do that, Sammy?
I'd like to see his teeth. Is it possible he's vampiric?
Stuck in a cave for 12 years? I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, let's get to hockey, the All-Star game.
Yeah. NBC, like I said, is going to be testing some new technology during the NHL All-Star digital broadcast at least.
Do you know when that is offhand?
Saturday.
Saturday. Okay.
Hey, and speaking of Twin Peaks, they want you to lace up your skates and get the puck into Twin Peaks for the NHL All-Star Game. The puck drops at 8 p.m. Eastern on 126. Excellent. So that's this Saturday. And of course, they have all the lead up, all the 3v3 and shit like that, and the skills competitions.
Oh, yeah, those are cool, man. I like those skills competitions.
It's more and more cool. I haven't watched like an entire thing, but I've caught little pieces of it, and it did look pretty sweet.
Is that where they put the plates in each corner of the net in the middle and seeing those guys ripping shots trying to smash the plate? That's fun. Good stuff.
23 years after Fox's glowing puck made its debut, the NHL's next big technological advancement will be on display this weekend during the All-Star festivities. 23 years, Mike.
Dude.
Does that make you feel old?
Everything makes me feel old, but that is incredible. 23 years since...
Yeah, the glow puck.
Oh, my Lord.
That thing was so controversial.
Yeah.
Because anybody who was any sort of hockey purist was just like, nope, not watching it.
Yeah.
I'll just listen to the radio broadcast then, not watching that shit.
I'm trying to think what a comparable thing would be in one of the other major sports that would be that device, because that glow puck.
It was weird.
You could see it through the boards. So the problem was, if you're watching hockey, the boards are up there, so you can't, when they go into a corner or.
That was the only good part about the glow puck, is that you could see that it is at the guy's feet, or now it got tucked down into the corner.
Yeah.
As guys sort of come into a scrum and by the boards, but when it was just out in the middle of the ice, it was bizarre.
Yeah.
It gets sent back to the guy up top, and there's just this big, huge blue thing around this puck.
Yeah.
It was really, I think most people were savvy enough that wasn't an issue, being able to see the puck.
You know what?
It was all for the new viewer. Like, they were trying to introduce it down south and all this shit.
Did it have a streak behind it?
They did that. If you hit it a certain miles per hour, it would pick up like a red laser.
E was talking about this too. The problem he had with it was, or you can say it, E.
Oh, well, I mean, for me, I was just saying that I noticed that, like, if it would go right by the net, right to the right or left, it's like, dude.
Is it in?
Is it in or is it?
It looked like it was in.
And I would say this, when people say that it was supposed to help the casual fan, I grew up in a household where we did not watch hockey. I literally didn't watch a Red Wings game until 96-ish. And even then,
you missed the whole build.
I understand. My dad didn't watch hockey.
Years. Wow.
My dad didn't watch hockey. But my point is, I don't remember having an issue really.
Yeah,
like,
of course
seeing where the
you lose sight of it every now and then, but you can tell by their body language where the puck went.
Put that on the screen.
Look at that.
He's got footage of it. If you haven't seen this, if you're younger than 20 years
there's
old,
there's the
blast. Yes. The Reds. God, it just looks like a video game or something.
Yeah, and it's the way it kind of wavers, the technology wasn't all that great, so it just looks kind of half-assed.
Yeah, it's sort of on the puck, this blue
sort of glimmers. Blob. But here's what NBC's doing. They're going to showcase puck and player tracking as part of its broadcast of the skills competition Friday night, and then as the centerpiece of it, digital-only broadcast of the All-Star 3v3 tournament Saturday night. It'll be the first chance for American hockey fans to get an up-close look at the system that could be in place as soon as next season. With each player and the puck fitted with a microchip, the amount of available information could be overwhelming. Look for everything from NASCAR-like bubbles over players' heads to skating and shot speed to ice time and even a small trail behind the puck as NBC takes tracking technology in hockey for a test drive. Eventually, it'll go to possession time and more advanced data, but right now, it's mainly focused on speed, shift time, distance traveled, miles per hour on the shot, and virtually connecting players on a goal.
So I like miles per hour on a shot. I like speed that a guy's going.
Yeah.
Like, that'll give you some context. I thought it was really fascinating when actually you weren't here. Darren was doing that interview. McCarty was here, and he was doing that interview with Barstool Sports.
Spitting Chicklets.
I think that's who he was talking to, and they were talking about he was talking about Fedorov and how Fedorov really gets a bad rap around town because, this whole Hollywood thing. And he said he was so good and so dominant and so fast, and it was so easy for him that he could appear lazy on the ice. Like, he wasn't even working that hard. That's how skilled he was. Yeah. He said, I couldn't skate for shit, and I always look like I'm trying to run, and it looks like I'm working my ass off. He's like, but Fedorov was going and so much better than everybody that it made it look like he wasn't trying that hard.
Yeah,
I thought that was interesting.
Would prove that.
To go, oh my God, he's doing 40 miles an hour right now.
He's just standing there.
Right.
No, that would be cool, but I wonder about this bubble above players' heads. I mean, that could be pretty distracting. I think if depending on how many players have it at the time. It could be cool though.
I mean, I guess it's just for the All-Star game, so it's different. You know what I mean?
They're testing it out, see what works. I think what will ultimately happen is they'll look at this, get people's response, and go, okay, this worked, but that didn't.
And NASCAR does do this now.
Yeah, I've seen that.
I've seen that with the little arrow in the bubble. I don't know what information goes in
it. It usually tells you how fast they are and how far away they are from the next position.
Okay. Is it annoying? Is that annoying technology?
I don't watch NASCAR anymore, but I've watched a little bit here and there still, and it's not. It's actually pretty good for NASCAR.
Kind of cool.
For NASCAR, it's great.
Are you willing to give the glow puck a second look, Jay? 23 years after.
Yeah, because what they're going to do for sure is probably tighten it up and make it look legit.
I mean, look at the golf ball that we see on MLB.
Love it.
That MLB. The glow ball in golf is awesome.
PGA.
To see the tracker. Yeah. And also, dude, how about the yellow line in football?
Oh.
Dude, I can't even
imagine.
No.
Watching it without the
You just have to sit there and just kind of be like, oh, yeah, I think that's it.
We may have gotten to the point now in society where we are so used to seeing sidebars with tons of information and a scroll with tons of information, and it's constantly changing, and every possible stat is on the screen. Where with hockey, will it be that big a deal if they've got a bubble above a guy's head and says he's got 20 goals on the year and,
if it takes away your view of the play, though, that could get annoying, like bubbles above everybody. It's just making the player bigger, right? The image of the player. Plus, but if it's just showing the guy with the puck, maybe, or.
Yeah, and I think in NASCAR, it's like the guys are pretty much going there's not a lot of, so if you have one above one
it's
car.
It's not the same as sports because they're just going in circles. So you can have the thing kind of way up in the air.
But for hockey, there's so much time when play gets stopped and there's 6 guys kind of hugging each other, and you get that in the corner where they're all fighting for the puck, and if you had just stationary bubbles over all of them overlapping, that won't work. So I don't know, maybe it's just the guy with the puck, but they pass so fast. I don't know, I'll have to see it to see what they're doing.
Yeah, apparently it won't be shown on NBC if you just tune in on TV, unless you're using smart TV to go web based. But one of the things, I think distance traveled would be cool. See how, like, over the course of the game.
Oh, this guy skated 20 miles.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. I do like those. What are some of the other track? There's like new sports, something they show it on ESPN a lot of times. If you're watching, there'll be like sports science group will be like, this pass was thrown at this distance, and the receiver's wingspan is the size of an average 2-car garage. You're like, holy shit. So if the quarterback, he needs to put it in this window of 14 feet to make it a reasonable, like they'll dive into that shit, like kind of weirder stats, and you kind of get a better feel. I'm not explaining it very well, but it's kind of cool, those kinds of things. And I'll check it out. I mean, web-based, I'm not exactly sure what that means. So if I go,
if you watch it streaming, go to the NBC app or their website and stream it.
So if I go to my PS4 and go into the internet stuff there, okay. All right. I'll try to do that. I'd be interested in checking that out. I'm sure they'll have highlights, but.
Jesus, you ready to sing? Here we go.
And then we're gonna find our best friend Doug, and then we're gonna give him a best friend hug.
He's a
Doug.
Well done, Jesus. Hey, now's the time. Contact Realtor Doug Steinert. Call him at 248-765-1781. He and the team at Century 21 Campbell will work to get you the absolute best deal on the sale and or purchase of your home. Doug's the man. He's easy to work with and a great friend of the show. Call Douglas today, 248-765-1781.
Hey, we should probably mention our GoFundMe.
Indeed.
I always want to say go fuck me, when I say GoFundMe. But anyway, we're up over close to $8,000 right now of our 10,000 stated goal. And thank you to everybody that's contributed there. We got someone anonymously came in with $500 yesterday. Did we mention that one?
No.
That is unbelievable to me. Jeff Dolby with $100, Mike McGarry with $10, Brian Hudson with $75,
Dustin Gravitt with $200.
Yep. Jim O'Connell with $50, Sue LaRue, $30. Thank you, Sue. Jason
Brannigan,
$5. Thank you. Matt Summers, $20. Tim Rempel, $50. Brian Smith, $55. Fran Fady with $100.
Francis.
Is that our Franny Fran? Did she do that?
I don't.
Francis
Look at
is
Francis.
sweet in the pot.
Yeah, she's sending messages, man.
She had some rabbit ears after that 35, I think.
Oh boy, yeah. So she was shamed a little bit, just a touch.
On the show, she was.
I
didn't go home and be like, yo, ma, $35? You kidding me?
Well, Jay's parents didn't give anything, so she's up $35 on them.
No, we do this.
$5 from the Fire Fady Foundation, working towards a better tomorrow. $100 from Dan Rankin. That's another good friend of yours, E. Kurt Sargent. I think we mentioned him yesterday. Steve Doggett. Yeah, thank you, everybody. We certainly appreciate it, and it's going to be really kick-ass. Hopefully we get to 10 grand. Then we can bring Jerry to town. That was the thing. We got a couple grand to go, but we're not going to keep it up that much longer. So hopefully we can do that and bring Jerry in to hang out in the tent with Big E for his for a couple nights.
Eric, it's getting cold.
Oh my, Eric.
Oh my God.
Docking is the insertion of one man's glands into the foreskin of another's.
Is that our phone call to Jerry? Is that up in the members area now?
Yeah.
So if you
it's in there. Yeah.
So members can go check that out. It's a pretty funny call with him as we ask if he'd be available to come to town. Oh my, yes. Very much looking forward to it. Hey, should we get some email in?
Is it time? I'm looking at. Is that really? That's really real.
Pretty
accurate. It's pretty close.
It's really real. All right. Hey, if you want to write into the show, send us your thoughts to email at DetroitCast.com. If you want to post us or send Anthrax to Easus, send it to P.O. Box 250-268 Franklin, Michigan 48025. Now, Matt writes in. Dear cock in the closet, sorry. Cock in her vagine and cock in the mouth.
I'll take cock in the vagine.
I have a grievance, and it piggybacks from a previous Mike Walters grievance about reporters not being mic'd. Do I even put this to the clock? It's short. I won't. Not being mic'd during post-game interviews is what you said, right? That's your big thing.
Press conference.
Press conferences. I might have been referencing sports, but I think I meant in general press conferences. Yeah.
So you got a guy at the podium, and he's just giving responses, and you have no idea what he's been asked.
Right. Or it's a whisper, barely audible in the background. Yeah.
Well, Matt says the interviewers and producers on the Fire Festival documentary were not mic'd up when they were asking Billy McFarland questions. I couldn't hear the questions they were asking Billy. What the fuck? Into the mic, ass clowns.
Yeah.
That was sort of like the style. I've seen that documentary style, though. That's kind of like, because what they wanted was Billy's pauses and that forlorn look. And you could sort of hear, I think that was just their style, honestly.
I think you're absolutely right, because that would have been easy to fix. I mean, you're producing this whole thing. It would be easy to fix that.
That was intentional.
And it's probably, if you look at it, it's probably not necessary to hear the question anyways.
It gives it kind of a behind-the-scenes sort of feel. Like the camera's just kind of catching this off-the-cuff discussion more. It gives it less of a formal sit down with Barbara Walters and et cetera. It's just...
I distrust so many of these pieces where interviews are taking place. Like, it always looks like, oh man, whoever's asking that question, Billy didn't see that one coming. He's stumped. He is stumped. And it's like, is this done in editing to make it look like there was dramatic pauses as he's thinking about how do I respond to this question? Or was it like he asked a question and he just answered it? And you inserted these pauses.
You're right.
You know what I mean? I don't know.
They could be showing you footage of him just sitting there, waiting for the interview to start.
Right.
Not being asked anything and just sitting, and then being asked a question and responding. Yeah,
exactly.
It totally could be.
Yeah.
But I kind of see your point, Matt, in terms of your grievance, but I think that was very intentional. It's the style of the documentary. Jeremy writes in concerning the .com grievance that Easus asserted yesterday or 2 days ago. If Fuckface had an iPhone, typically he can just hold down the period and choices will pop up to easily insert the proper .whatever at the end. So obviously, some other pussies have had said grievance. Bye, BUI for now. I said
I didn't know that.
Well, now you know, Easus.
I guess, yeah.
So hold down the period and you'll get some choices.
Sounds like my grievance was bona fide due to Apple's taking advantage of, or using it.
That's what he's saying, man. Other pussies had the same grievance, so good for you.
Wait a minute. So he says, hold down the...
Well, I think it's got to be in that setting, probably.
Detroit cast dot...
Hold it down. Hold it.
I am. It gives me...
A bunch of periods?
It gives me the option of period or 3 period, as far as I can tell.
The ellipsis?
Yeah.
I'm assuming that he's saying it's smart enough to know that I'm typing in a password somewhere.
Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw it.
I don't see a .com there, my friend.
Oh, Jeremy, have you given us misinformation?
I think this is false information.
Fake news. Save the rest for tomorrow, Mike.
Very good. Let's get out of here, gentlemen. Is there anything else we need to mention besides the GoFundMe?
GoFundMe is what we need to mention.
GoFundMe. See it out there. Keep sharing it. Keep donating, guys. It's very much appreciated, and I swear Jay will be a great steward with the money, and we will get the studio just badass.
Will not allow these guys to snort it.
No. All right, everybody. Thanks for hanging with us today. We'll see you tomorrow.
You've been listening to the Detroit Cast with your hosts, Mike and Jay. From all of us at Radio for One Studios, thank you for listening. And as always, thank you, Detroit.